Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, today I am in the steam room at the gym. I just got my workout on. Got my little towel. Woo! I'm in the steam room and I'm going to talk about something I seen this morning last night on Instagram. So a young woman, she has a restaurant. The restaurant is new, so like a year old, and it's successful. And now she wants to open a second location. Oh, she's going to open a second location. She's got a downtown area in a major city that she's looking at a location for this second location. So my advice to the cosmetologists and the barbers, after you graduate from barber school or beauty school, preferably while you're in barber school or beauty school, you go work under somebody. Go work under somebody for 5 to 10 years. If you could do it in 4 years, even better. But the kicker is you have to have proof of income, but go buy a house or a storefront. Buy, not lease. Buy. The reason why I said go work under somebody for 5 years, because the first 2 years when you're a business owner or working under somebody, it'll take you a minute to get your proof of income. But as long as you have 2 years of bank statements and W-2 forms, you can purchase a home. Now, what I would have done now that I'm older, which I leased out 2 spaces, but back then, my first salon, the rent was only $500 a month. $500 a month. I think when I went to my second location in Millville, I can't even think how, back in like 2000, the rent was only $700 a month. But now these storefronts and stuff that you're looking at, they are up in the thousands. Shoot, it's $1,000 just to get one of them salon suites. Or $2,000, some of them. But the secret, in my opinion, from my experience in the industry, and watching people over the years, if I was to ever do it again, I would buy a house. So say I worked under somebody. So you say you work under somebody for 4 or 5 years. You get all your documents, because to purchase a home, you need some proof of income. What I would do, I would buy a house in the city or wherever the traffic is, where people come at or whatever. Not per se your quote unquote dream house, but a place where you could hold your business. I would buy a place in the city with good parking, and I would have turned it in a salon, maybe a salon in the front, and I lived in the back, or had the salon on the first floor, live at the top. Or had the salon or barbershop on the first floor, live at the top, or live in the basement and rent out the top floor. Because what happens with the beauty or barbershop, it's going to be slow times. You're not going to always make your rent every month. So instead of trying to haggle and trying to figure out how to pay your rent every month, if you own a place and you're renting the basement out, you're getting $500 from the person renting out the basement. Upstairs, you living upstairs. So you're not paying a whole separate rent and mortgage at home. And you still got your business. So if nobody don't come to the business, you still got a place to live, 1. 2, you still got some kind of source of income coming in because you're renting out the basement or whatever, or upstairs or whatever. Because what happens is, eventually, in 5 years, once you make enough money and the business is booming and you got 10 years of pay stubs, work papers, you can go buy your dream house. By then you're 30 and you can go buy a house out in the country and you still own the house in the city where the business is at. And being that you moved out, you can rent out the top half of the building and live at the bottom. I mean, have somebody living at the bottom building if that's the case. Where you could still have your business on the first floor and have a tenant at the top, so even if the business stopped making no money, you still got income. Not only that, you've been in the house for 5 or 10 years, the house done built equity. So if I get a chance to see that little sister, matter of fact, I'll probably just write it on her page. I would tell her, instead of going into the city, in the Philly, leasing another spot, you're gonna gut it out, spend thousands and thousands of dollars on fixing up somebody else's stuff. At the end of the day, if you don't pay that rent, you gotta get out. And not only that, you done put all your money, and some people, which thank God, when I had my beauty salon, I never had to take out a loan. Always, between my husband and I, we always had enough money to get it started. And we always had enough money to maintain it. And as I grew, I always had enough income coming in. Always had clients, always had money coming in. But when you go get these beauty salons, you spend all this money for this furniture, and you ain't making no money to pay the rent. The landlord not trying to hear it. You ever run past these fancy restaurants? I know a lady over here in Tempe. She had a cute little wine and sip place. It was cute. Plush chairs, music flowing. It's gone now. Which she says she's about to open up another location. But I'm like, once you do that, you might as well buy a house, an old house. That's what the old people used to do. Buy a house in the city, fix it up, and have your business there. That's what the old people used to do. And then that way, if you're putting all the money, a new floor, because mind you, people renting these places, they hooking them up, putting new floors, new walls, new plumbing all in them. Them landlords, when that rent ain't coming in, you got to go. Where if you have a mortgage, in some states, they can't take you to foreclosure for a year. Foreclosure for a year. They can't start foreclosing on your house for a year. And by then, hopefully, if you have to, you go work at Walmart or somewhere to get your hustle on to pay your mortgage. And not only that, if the beauty salon or barbershop not working out, hopefully by then you maybe have 2 or 3 chairs in there. You know, you got somebody working in there and they bringing in some kind of income. But you living in one place trying to pay a mortgage and a rent, then you opening up a shop somewhere, paying a mortgage and a rent, it's too much. My advice to any up-and-coming beauty entrepreneur or barber or esthetician or nail person, buy you a house first and have the business in your house. And if you can, even though it's an old rinky-dink house, you have it in the city where everything is flowing. That way you have traffic, always having traffic. Not only that, you're building equity. Because when you go out here, and listen to Miss Camille, Salon 101 with Miss Camille, when you go out here, you fix up these leasing spots and you rent them. If you don't pay that rent, but who wants to be working hard just to pay rent? Nobody. Which I did it, like I said, but I learned, because after I had my first 2 salons and I tried to, after my divorce, that's a long story. Tried to do it at another state, didn't have clientele, it was hard. But that's another story for another day. So to my little brothers and my little barber brothers and sisters and beauty salon brothers and sisters, work under somebody. Work under somebody. I worked under 2 people before I opened up my initial salon. Jackie Benson in Dover, Delaware. And then I worked at Timona's when I moved to New Jersey with my husband. And I worked under them, built up my clientele. And long as you leave on a, good basis, let them know, the girl, I got a baby coming and I need, which me, I was on my second baby and my husband was like, you need to open up your own beauty salon so you could have the kids with you at work sometimes. And best idea I ever did, because the spot, I always had my own beauty salon and my kids was little, and at some point, if something happened, he could drop the baby off and I could have my baby put the crayons or a TV in the back, and I could have my kids in the back room, because I always had my own salon. But for 2 years, while I was in beauty school, I worked at Miss Jackie's. And then after that, when I moved to New Jersey with my husband, I worked under Timona, I think for three or 4 years. But then when we wanted to go buy a house and stuff, I never had proof of income. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But yeah, if you can work under somebody, and another reason work under somebody, learn all you can. It's no rush. Work under somebody, learn all you can, because you're in for a long haul. This is a long haul. So you work under somebody for 4 or 5 years, build up your income, buy a house. Don't open up your first barbershop, leasing these spaces and putting all this thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in, making them all plush, and then you can't afford the rent, and then you gotta get out and leave your stuff in there, and then next thing, people got all this furniture on Marketplace and Craigslist selling salon chairs. They selling all that stuff. Selling all of it. All right, have a good day. I'm not gonna talk your ears off, but if you can, this is just a suggestion. Work under somebody for a couple of years, preferably 5, so you can learn all you want. It ain't no rush. Because if you graduate from beauty school when you're 20, and then by the time you work under somebody for 5 years, you're 25. Or work under them till you're 30. Just build that book, because you gotta build that book. And not only that, these people, is it okay to ask somebody for help in the salon if I need help with color? No, not a fellow person. But if you go work under somebody as a shampoo girl, or work under them for a little while, that person you work under, they'll show you little tips in the trade. Instead of you jumping out here trying to get a salon suite and don't know SHIT. Ain't nobody to ask no questions or nothing. Work under somebody. Learn all you can. Even the doctors, when they get out of college, they gotta go work under somebody. They can't just because they got their doctor's certificate, they can't just go cutting on people and doing surgery. That's why the doctors you meet, they got their own practices, they be old. Because they've been doing it a long time. And then they finally get a place where they can get their own practice, get out on their own. But they worked under somebody. And not only that, sometimes you work under somebody for so long, they old and they retire and they want to hand you over the business. That happened. My cousin in Philly, he was working under a barber. And my cousin, he worked under him for like 10 years. And the man retired. And he said, would you like to buy my barbershop? That was almost 20 years ago. The property is over $500,000 in the property. Not the barbershop. The property is worth over $500,000. And yes, because the property is located downtown in a major city where there's lots of traffic. So the property, if he quit today, he gonna have money because the property is a commercial property. He live at the top, and he run his barbershop on the first floor. The property itself now is worth over $500,000. The property, and he not leasing. He not leasing it. So stop going out here, getting these loans, plushing these places out, and then you can't stay in them because you can't pay the rent because it's going to be slow. What if it's a snowstorm and you don't make no money that week? What if it's another COVID breakout and your business is closed for 2 years? So you got to take all that in consideration, because it's going to be times we make you making lots of money now, but it's going to be slow times. Like I said, what if it's a hurricane? You can't, and you got to evacuate, and you can't do no hair for 2 weeks or a month. That's your income. I know. I did it. You can ask me anything. I can tell you, I did it. Work under somebody as long as you can. Even if you work under for 5 years, learn all you can, save your money, buy a business, and build your salon or barbershop or esthetician spa, whatever you want from there. And that way, your property is growing equity. And one other person, E.L.U., and he was a hairdresser in Dover, Delaware. He had his business downtown, Lockman Street, then he bought a place out by the Kmart on the highway. And even though and that was probably 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, because I graduated from beauty school about 1990. It's about 35 years ago. He still owned the property, and he don't do hair no more. And I think the old beauty salon, they rented it out now to a traveling agency. He's still making money off of his property, and he done bought a vacation home in Florida. Well, and if something happened, he still can come back to his house he owned and live on the top floor, because he still got it into a little apartment that he rent out. So he got 2 incomes. He got the commercial property on the first floor, renting it out, making income, and he got the property at top, somebody leasing it out. Take it from Miss Camille. This is just my advice. At the end of the day, you can sign all the leases you want. This is just my personal opinion. Have a good day.